With prices skyrocketing on everything, we now know how important it is to keep your money in your pocket, especially when you're looking for a new home.
Problem solver Aaron Miller is here now with the red flags that renters can't afford to miss.
The housing market is crazy these days. Prices are sky high, and when you finally find something you can afford, you may find out that it's not actually available. And criminals are using your desperation to their advantage. Listen to what happened to one family in Newport News. Rachel Havard and her family have been looking for a new place to call home. But in this market, that's been tough.
Things have been going super fast, so you'd see things one day and the next day they're already gone.
Until a glimmer of hope came from a recent Zillow listing.
We had contacted the person through Zillow and they had sent us an email and this super detailed email of why they had bought the house and how come they weren't going to be able to live it in anymore. They were missionaries for UNICEF, which is an organization we've supported ourselves in the past. So we're like, oh, like, this is awesome. This is really what we've been asking for, like what we've been praying for.
Seems great, right? Rachel says not exactly.
We provided just basic information, didn't even give a salary range or anything. And he was like, great news, you got it. And the first thing he asked was, are you okay giving the deposit in Bitcoin? And we were like, ooh.
Rachel says they hadn't even toured the rental home and were being pressured to give a deposit and the first month's rent, which tallied up to about $3,000.
The more we talked to him about it, the pushier he got. And the more he kept saying, well, just pay it in PayPal to my assistant at this like unprofessional random email address he gave us.
Rachel says she reached out to her realtor, who reached out to the seller's agent. After some digging, she says they confirmed that the listing wasn't legitimate and had been taken off Zillow's website. Looking back, Rachel says there were red flags. The alleged seller was out of town and couldn't meet to tour the home. They included what appeared to be a very personal story to play on the emotions of Rachel and her husband. They also had spelling errors in emails and text messages. And the biggest one, they asked for a Bitcoin wire. Zillow also confirms that these are signs of trouble. Luckily, the Havards didn't send any money, but here's Rachel's advice.
So if something feels weird, I say go ahead and flag it and let them know, because they can do the kind of harder work of looking into it.
Good advice there, because right now the market is hot, so you're really going to want to make sure that you look things over and think it over. By the way, you can report any suspicious activity to Zillow. We'll have those details on WTKR.com on how you can do that, as well as the email that Rachel received. That way you can have an idea of what these fake postings and inquiries look like. Aaron Miller, News 3.
And if you have a consumer tip or story that you want the News 3 problem solvers to look into, we want to hear from you. Email us at problemsolvers@WTKR.com.